Okay, well, not to the person that just got their face torn off. It wasn't so rare, you moron. If you'd get off your chair and out of your office and out in the woods and actually mingle with bears like I have done, you find out you can set off a black bear. Hi folks, Tim Sundles here. We just finished a video on that Beretta 1301 sitting over there. And so I'm wearing the same clothes, the same earplugs, the same hat.
Different day. It'll be posted.
Well, it'll be posted on a different day, but yeah. So this morning I did quite a bit of shooting, and I really want to talk about this rifle and the utility of these M14s. I just bought this M14 a couple weeks ago. It was a private sale, but because the feds would just love to screw me up and nobody knew the history of this, we took it to a gun shop and did a gun shop transfer on it, logged it in. I did the paperwork, logged it out to me. This is a national match, and this was made in 1963 by TRW, who had a federal contract. They were building aerospace stuff, and they got a federal contract for the Korean War to make 300,000 of these. However, 4,000 of them were national match, which is what this one is, which is the only reason I bought it. This thing also came with a whole bunch of national match ammo that you know, you don't see these boxes around anymore like you used to. So what I did this morning was I sighted it in, and you know, these national match guns come with half-minute click adjustable sights, and they have a real small target aperture on them. Well, somebody apparently, and of course this is all factory, it's not modified in any way. Somebody removed the part of the aperture that was small and just left a big giant aperture on it. Well, wouldn't you know, that's exactly what I would have done for a defensive gun, not for a match gun, but for a defensive gun. And what I decided to do with this M14 was, if it shot reliably and if it shot accurately, I decided to turn it into a truck gun because I don't know about you guys, but I just don't like the way things are going. This country, and you know, Trump is straightening a lot of this out. He and Tom Homan and Art Delasuello, those guys are fixing this criminal immigrant problem. And, you know, they're not criminal immigrants. Well, they're criminals. When I was a kid, immigration always meant that you did the legal process. Now I don't know what it means. But they are addressing the issue, and it's not just illegal immigration, folks. Our society is just a piece of crap. There are people that want to destroy America. And so the M14 really shines when it comes to defeating barriers, or, you know, taking a car apart. If you have to take a car apart, your 30-round magazine in your little AR-15, which is a great tool, don't get me wrong, but it won't take a car apart like this thing will. This thing will just disassemble a car. And you just never know anymore with barricaded encounters. Cars are being used as weapons more and more and more. I just like having something like this in one of my trucks. The two trucks I drive the most, the other one has a little M4 in it, with iron sights, by the way. And that's what this will have, is just these factory iron sights, 4 or 5 magazines full of national match ammo. This thing is so unbelievably accurate. It's just almost pathetic. I was shooting it at 45 yards, and with that giant aperture in there, which isn't for most people, it's not conducive to target shooting. But at 45 yards, you could cover a 10-shot group easily with a silver dollar, maybe a 50-cent piece. And I wasn't trying that hard. And I was in bad light. I was shooting into the sun. Everything was wrong. So when I finished getting it sighted in the way I wanted it, I did some 300-meter shooting with it, just offhand, and just was busting rocks at 300 meters, killing sagebrush, just chewing things apart with this thing. This National Match ammo, I think, is 173 grain boat tail bullet, and it's full patch, full metal jacket ammo, and that's all I'm going to shoot in it. I want full metal jacket ammo for defeating barriers, and if in Idaho, there's always the chance that you'll have to put down an injured animal or a dangerous animal, maybe. You just never know. If you hang around trailheads, you drive your car into trailheads, you never know when some marauding bear that's been habituated to humans is, killing some poor lady or one of her kids or dragging them out of a tent. It happens. Not
rare. It's very rare.
Yeah, it's very rare until it happens. Then it's like 100% chance.
And you hear about these reports every other day.
Yeah.
But it's very rare.
Yeah, well, fishing game always does that crap. It's extremely rare. Okay, well, not to the person that just got their face torn off. It wasn't so rare, you moron. If you'd get off your chair and out of your office and out in the woods and actually mingle with bears like I have done, you find out you can set off a black bear. Sometimes nothing sets them off. They just go off on you anyway. I mean, they're not dangerous until you get out and get around them and mess with them. And then you just never know. You just never know. Never mind the grizzlies, which the feds are forcing on us, which, I do my very best to keep the numbers low around here, the grizzly numbers. Anyway, what a great, great defensive tool, even an offensive tool, as is an AR-15 that's set up right. It's a great offensive or defensive tool. And the best defense is a good offense at times. I mean, Bruce Lee taught that over and over and over with his stop kicks and his stop punches, that a really good offense is at times your best defense. And that's kind of how I feel about defensive maneuvers in general. If your offense is strong, you might never need your defense. So anyway, this rifle will be a car gun. The guy I bought it from didn't want very much for it. The gun shop I logged it into happened to have a bore scope on hand, and we dropped a bore scope down it, and I got in that throat area where you get your first erosion, signs of erosion. This barrel was pristine. You could tell it had been fired, but very, very little.
Show the buttstock.
This is just all, I think, whatever goes in these buttstocks from the factory. There's a little, I don't even know what's in it. I haven't opened it. Feels stuck to me. But it's just 100% factory. The National Match guns are highly desirable. I don't know what this gun's worth. Several people told me without the ammo that it was probably worth, $2,500. It's been carried, but it hasn't been shot. Not much. So I'll get 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 rounds through this thing before the barrel is toast. And I'll never shoot this gun that much because I'm just going to carry it. I'm not going to go out and do National Match competitions or anything and put a small aperture rear sight in it. Nah, it's just set up just the way I want it. And folks, I'm not an M14 aficionado. I know how to run one, but I don't know how to take one apart or put it back together. This thing runs really nice. Didn't give me one bobble. This is the only ammo I fired out of it. That ammo's pretty old, but I think it's got a lot number on it, 2018, which actually isn't very old. If that's the decade and the year, if that's the century and the year, 2018, it's not very old. I don't know how they lot numbered these.
So for the newbies, does ammo expire?
Well, it depends on how it's stored. That's a really good question. If you keep it cool and dry, like in an arid climate, this stuff can last easy 100 years and still be functional. If you're in a humid climate and it's damp, and you get hot temperatures, 80, 90 degrees, 100 degrees, the powder is going to deteriorate. The priming compound may deteriorate too. So ammo storage should always mean dry and cool. 70 below 80 for sure. Below 70 is even nicer. And it can last and last and last depending on what components it's assembled with. All powders are different. Some are much more stable than others. Priming compounds are all different, but if you're keeping it dry and cool, there's just no reason you can't get 60, 70 years anyway out of it. I've shot a lot of that Army surplus 308 stuff and '06 stuff from World War II, and it was fine. So that's pretty old stuff. I mean, at this point, that's creeping up on 100-year-old ammo. I haven't shot any of it in 20 years, so let's say it was 80 or 75 years old when I shot it. It was great. So anyway, folks, hope this is instructional. What a great car gun. And if you learn how to run aperture sights, they're dang near as precise as a mid-magnification scope without the bulk of the scope and all that nonsense. This gun carries really nice. Hope this video is of some use. I think everybody ought to have 2 or 3 car guns. I think everybody ought to have 2 or 3 or 4 bedroom guns. If I had a guy, when we were talking about tactical reloading on lever guns and how the old Henrys didn't have a load gate, so you couldn't tactically reload them. You had to disable the firearm by pulling the magazine tube up and putting ammo in it. And he emails me, "Oh, come on, tactical use of a lever gun, that's ridiculous." And I run into this with most humans. They don't think. They actually have to go plant their face into a brick wall at high speed to learn that planting your face into a brick wall at high speed hurts. I've never been that way. I intuitively know that planting my face into a brick wall at high speed hurts. I don't have to go do it to find out. And if you think, under all the circumstances you may carry your lever action, that you may never get in a gunfight with more than one assailant, or get in a situation with a grizzly bear where you're making poor shots, and you need to top that thing off as you go, if you can't think that deep, you really ought to rethink owning a gun, because guns are designed with certain features for certain purposes, for certain uses. If you haven't sorted that out yet, you might want to get edumacated just a little. Take a tactical class. Take your lever gun to a tactical class. There are several shooting schools that teach tactical shooting with a lever gun. So anyway, folks, I hope this video is of some use to you, and we will see you on the next video. God bless.